Thank you for watching Conscious Consumer Network. The live stream broadcast is free to view. You can pause and rewind live broadcasts to catch up, or view shows at a later date by accessing our free archives of all shows. Check out our broadcast guide to see what's on. You can show your support by donating to our network support fund. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or subscribe to the monthly newsletter for updates. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.
Hello everybody, hello, I'm here today with Laurence. Again, Laurence, you did a French broadcast with me a few months ago and now you are back in English. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Really looking forward to tonight's session, especially because it's about traveling and it's my favorite topic.
Yeah, I mean, you are my special guest to speak about travel. So as you can see, people, we are traveling behind me, which is so cool, you know. So thank you for being here tonight and watching us. So again, this broadcast is to share our good and great news, good, great energy, opening up your little mind that has been really set up by an horrible society who has limiting you to believe in yourself. So tonight is about travel. We're gonna see like why is it important to travel, what we get from traveling, and why we travel so much also, and all of that. So I'm gonna ask also Laurence a lot of questions, and we're gonna discover what she did created by herself to make people traveling, right, Laurence?
Yes.
Yes. You launched your project a few months ago, right?
So yeah, so what happened is I started my own business 4 years ago. It's a web marketing business, which allowed me to travel around the world. And when I started to do that, I realized it's amazing what you can do. You can actually work remotely and discover new places. And 4 years on, I have decided to share this way of life with people and enabling them to travel or also to relocate in a new country. So yeah, I'm basically working on two projects right now, which is the first one is to help people go traveling without going via a travel agency, just by themselves, because I believe that way it's the best way to discover new places, to meet amazing people, and also to learn new languages. I started learning Spanish that way when I traveled in Central America. I never learned Spanish at school, and I can get by pretty well now in Spanish. So basically now I'm running some workshop and also one-to-one session with people. They're mainly French people now, but it's to help them to go traveling and also some of them to relocate to a new country and start a new life.
Okay.
But it's something.
So we're gonna get into it even more because I have a lot of questions to ask you, and I'm sure people would have too. But what I would like to start with is to tell the people that I'm going to travel soon, which is good. So I'm going to on the 10th of July. I'm going to travel and go to Miami. So if we have like US people watching us, just to let you know, I will be in Miami and I will be here for you guys if you want to do session with me in face-to-face for a soul reading or a scan. I'm going to travel also in Belize, South America, just more to relax for vacation and stuff. Then I will be back in Florida, and then I will move to Canada also because I'm sure that there are a lot of people that I need and I should meet there. Because Canada, we know, like, it's a lot about spirituality, it's a lot about personal development, and they are very open to our subjects. And I'm very glad that I will meet people I already know and new people in the future. So I just wanted to give you this news quickly before we carry on to navigate in the travel subject. And then also, I would like to tell the people that 6 months ago, I created a program, online program, to reconnect into yourself and really like to find the inspiring leader that you are naturally are, but you forgot about, and then to find yourself, to find your inner self, and to get more stronger, to take your place, to take your seat, to feel very aligned into yourself and connected to yourself. Then I am working right now on the English version with 40 videos that I will make only for all the English speaker people. So I'm very glad to work on this project, and I wish that it's going to be a success, and I wish that it will impact as many people that it's impacting right now on the French market. So that's all for me. That's the news I wanted to very clarify and tell you before we start and we carry on diving into the travel subject. Okay, so thank you for that. So Laurence, you were saying several things. So let's take one by one. So first of all, people doesn't know you, so we would like to know, did you travel yourself?
I started to travel when I was 27 years old. My first trip was in India, in Goa, and that blew my mind away. Coming from Western country and seeing such a different culture from us, and to be honest, at first I was quite scared. But then from that, I also discovered that there were more than just Europe and just France or England, and I wanted more of it. So I started to have some sort of bulimia of traveling, and I ended up traveling in almost 50 countries.
Almost 50 countries now. Wow. That makes us like really dreaming about that. We would like to be you, actually, you know. With you.
It's possible, and that's why I'm doing what I do now, because I really want people to do the same. I mean, maybe not travel the way I do, but just the fact of traveling and starting to travel.
So wait. When you started at the beginning, when you started traveling, like, what is it to be a new traveler? What did you learn? What did you realize about yourself? What happened?
So I learned a lot when I started to travel alone and by myself, and without really having a roadmap. Or my first travel, I was scared and I was not alone, so I was with people, and that's why I'm doing what I do now, because I really want people to do the same. I mean, maybe not travel the way I do, but just the fact of traveling. It's okay?
Yeah. Hello.
So basically, I started to travel with an agenda every day and every night. I knew where I was going to stay and sleep. And then as I gained more experience doing that, I ditched the travel guide because I was a little bit fed up with meeting people who were doing the same trip, talking about the same thing, and I wanted something different. So I just started to let go of that and follow my feeling, and I would stay in places where I felt it was right for me. I would stay a bit longer, and I had not much planned. I just had some milestone I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do some sightseeing and go to some places, but without a set agenda. So like my latest travel, and it's been amazing, and the more I travel, the more my trips are amazing.
So can you tell us, like, when you start traveling, what happened into you? Like, what did you had? Do you think that traveling brings you a transformation into yourself?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I was not confident. I was scared of the unknown and scared of foreign people that I didn't know, and where I could.
What did you think before to go abroad? Like, what did you think foreign people would be like?
I was thinking I would get robbed or definitely rip off in terms of money. When we come from in Europe, we are considered as developed country, and when you go traveling in Asia, of course you have more money than them. So I thought, oh, they will put the price up for me, and they would really take advantage maybe. And I was scared of things like that. I was also scared, I guess, of the food. Maybe I would not like the food. Maybe the food would make me sick. And the good news is all of that did happen to me. But I realized that was not a problem at all, because the discovery that I made, and they were much richer than all the little problems I encountered.
What I understand is that you had plenty of fears before to go traveling. Actually, these fears happened.
Yes.
Like it became concrete,
yeah.
But you didn't die about it.
Exactly.
And the fact that it was more positive than negative, then you keep on traveling.
Yeah, that's correct, yes. Because I've got a clear example of when I traveled on a train in India for 10 hours. We did only 200 kilometers, but during that time I got the chance to talk to many Indian people, and they were just amazing people. And I remember this conversation with an 18-year-old Indian who was very wise in terms of the way he was seeing life, that it was no worry, be happy, but they were not simple words. He really meant those words. And he was only 18, really with the wisdom of someone 70 years old, a man. And I really appreciated that, because that made me more calm as a person, less anxious of the future, because we talking with people in India, I realize we are very lucky in Western Europe, and we have a lot of worries and too much in our mind when they don't have that. And I think for everybody in Europe or Western world, it is nice to realize that we should not have worry. We should not worry about losing our job, our house, or etc. Everything that makes us anxious every day, that should not matter. So traveling really helped me with that, becoming less anxious, more calm, more confident, and less afraid of people and places I didn't know.
What I feel that you are really putting in front here is that finally we are in a material world, and right now us in Occident, we say Occident?
Western world. Yeah.
Western world. And so basically we are worried every day to lose something that belongs to us. And so what you are saying is kind of, sometimes if we don't have anything, that we could feel better, because we would feel to be free. We will feel that we have no belongings, so we are free. We are kind of a freedom. Would you say that? Would you say that?
Yes, definitely. That's correct, because I used to have stuff and belongings and products, and the circumstances in my life made me drop all of that. And that's when I realized I was able to travel very light, and actually just with a backpack that was weighted only 14 kilos. You can actually get by 6 months, 1 year with a 14 kilos backpack. So everything you have in your house should not matter.
So it's interesting, because what you are saying now is that traveling can give you a new way of living also in your country.
Yes, of living in my country. In a way, now it's more sharing the travel that I have done, sharing it in France at the moment, and sharing that with other people, so they do something similar.
What I mean is that by the fact you travel so much, it changed your mind in your life, even when you don't travel. You know
yes, sorry. Yes, of course, yes.
It changed the way of living your life, actually.
Yeah, it changed the way I see life today, because I tend not to pay attention to small talks anymore, to everyday little things that a lot of people will be taken over by, those everyday routine, and they can start to feel very heavy about that. I don't pay attention to that anymore because I have seen some part of the world, and I know there is so much more to see, and just these thoughts just make me really happy. And I think we should not worry about things that are not important. And I think things that traveling also made me understand what is important for me. And I think for me, what's important is not having a house or a nice car, or etc. For me, what's important is having a healthy family, having nice friends around me, and having a nice partner. And I think for me, that's what matters now, and the rest doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. So my feeling is that a lot of people in our society try to be free, in their head. People try to get out of this old paradigm where we can feel locked into something with limiting beliefs. And I've got the feelings that traveling is one of the solutions to uncondition your brain, because what we are living in our world right now, it's some people want to make us believe in one thing, in one version, in one perception of life, that they want us to believe in one way, in one direction. But once you start traveling, even if these leaders make us fierce and make us scared of traveling in some countries, then traveling to these countries make us, having a different perception about the world, about the vision, about this one direction. And that's helping us to think outside the box, outside this build up ego that we already have because of our education. And that helps us to think through our thoughts, to think through our own reality, our own version of life. So traveling is definitely a way to get out from the old paradigm and to build up on your confidence also. A lot of people are asking me, like, how did you develop your intuition? How did you do? I always tell them, developing your intuition is, first of all, stop thinking about everything and nothing, about your past, about your future. Developing your intuition is to be connected in the present moment. But also because, as you know, Laurence, we are friends, and you know that I love traveling also. And for me, traveling is the way also to develop your intuition, because you will be exposed to certain situations that you don't deal with in your day-to-day life. So it means that you are very very present when you travel. Would you say that you are more in the present time when you travel than you are if you don't travel? What would you say about that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel much more present, and because I completely absorb this new environment. For example, my last trip was in Iceland. I just come back from Iceland less than a week ago. And I was in this small village in the fjords with only 150 people. And I remember I was on a boat sailing, and we arrived in the harbor. We were surrounded by 2 fishing boats. And I just could smell the fish. I could see the fishermen working, and they were helping us out, mooring the boat. And we were able to catch some fish. So they taught us how to prepare a fish and get ready to eat. And when you get taught by an Icelander how to eat a fish, this is a souvenir that's worth $1 million, and that I will never forget, because it's a unique situation, and I felt very much alive at that moment, and I felt very much, because I could feel the kindness of people, wanted to share their culture. In Iceland, it's a country extremely tolerant as well, which I think we have quite a lot to learn from this country. And you could feel that on their behavior, the way they wanted to share without asking anything, the way they gave us some spare food, some eggs to eat, just because they wanted to share. And that could have happened where I live at the moment in France. That could have happened to me, but I guess it didn't. It doesn't happen because I might not be as open or I might not be living as much as in the present as when I am traveling. Yes.
In our day-to-day life, we are always thinking about the past, the future. We are always thinking about the information that others give us, or thinking about our duties, and we are not free in our present. I would say in our day-to-day life, and we open. Would you think that you could teach people how to feel the way you feel on holidays, but in their day-to-day routine life?
That's a very good point and good question. I think it's possible because you can actually create a mini adventure every time you step out of your door by just looking at your street differently, opening up maybe to your neighbor and smiling, saying hello. And if you are lucky enough to live maybe in a quiet place or in the countryside or by the sea, then start to be interested by the people who work around you. And I would say especially the elder people. I think we have a lot to learn from them. But I'm sure you can also learn and have a lot of mini adventure when you live in a big city as well.
Yeah. So a lot of people, okay. So I have something to share. Like when I went to travel, I did travel in Egypt, in the Cheops pyramids. I did travel in Machu Picchu, in Peru. I went also last month in Mexico, in Yucatan region, where I went to Chichen Itza. I went also in Iceland. I went to Niagara Falls also in terms of the nature. I went to Jerusalem, which was very strong also. So I had the belief, and I felt that it's opening up a new door of my brain when I go traveling, because now I came back, for example, from Mexico, and I could feel that my extrasensorial perception improved again, and big time. So traveling, it's also feeling that you are like a little battery, and you will recharge your battery somewhere else. You will get your energy high up, your vibration high, and you will go on different places in the world that will really, make you feel that maybe you came here in the past, or it will have an impact in terms of energy and opening up your brain and your sensation and work on your perceptions. Did you feel that too, Laurence?
Yes, that's true. I felt really connected with complete stranger because, like you said, my senses were much more open, and I could feel what they were feeling. I could also understand their life really quickly, although I only spent 24 hours with them. I could understand a lot of things, and without using words that much.
Yeah. So this is the way. So tell us a little bit about what you are doing, like what type of people you are helping today.
So at the moment, I'm helping people who want to relocate to a new country, and I'm also helping one person who wants to travel to Australia.
Yeah.
So basically, it's someone that has been wanted to travel to Australia for a long time and has fear or is putting off his trip, and I think we can have 100 excuses for not doing it.
excuses people have?
For example, it's I don't have enough money, I don't have the time, or I can't quit my actual job. I have children, and I don't know how to do it with my children. And it's we can have so much excuses, but I think it applies with everything in life. Every time we want something new, we need to put some efforts towards it. But those efforts are well worth the reward, because the reward is 200% greater than the effort you're going to put in. So I'm helping people putting aside a budget to go traveling, to get organized, to identify which country they would like to go and what type of traveling they would like to do. And I really encourage them to start doing their travel themselves, because they are able to. And it's surprising people haven't got the confidence to do it. But with a little help, they realize, oh, actually, it's okay. I can manage. And when it comes to relocation, often the objection, they can be a little bit, they can be a bit deeper, because people, they often have the financial aspect, but also the fact that they're worried they might not get a job when they relocate abroad. And it's often the number one worries. Yeah. And I explain to them, this is something that can actually be worked on. And there is a lot of jobs abroad. And when you come from Europe, or when you come from France, you have a lot of skills that might be diminished in France, but are actually worth a lot abroad. And I think just for that, it's also nice to have an experience abroad, because you realize your skills are actually worth something, and there's someone out there that actually like your skills. And I believe at the moment people need a bit of optimistic aspect in their life, because with the current situation, and if people watch the news a little bit too much, they can become depressed very quickly. And I think we don't have to do that. We don't have to be depressed. And there's really a lot we can do, and we can have a happy life as well. And without worries, and with experiences, and discovering new places. And people that I know that have done that, they're feeling much more richer today because of that. And they have no regrets. And some people come back after a relocation. Some people just never look back, and they create a new life abroad. So it's very exciting, I think.
So we are in a situation where it's not encouraging the people like to go and travel, obviously, but as you say, we decide about how we want to make our life, and we decide to believe that if we travel, everything's going to be okay, it's going to be smoothly, it's going to be fine for us. And it's interesting, because basically when you were talking, what the information came into my mind is that you will offer a new, how can I say, a new travel with a new way to travel. So it's like you can tell these people what they should do, where they should go, if they are independent, if they are by themselves. And maybe it's a new type of travel agency you are creating there, like.
Yes, good point. I have been thinking about it, and why not? Definitely. But as a new type of travel agency.
On a customized travel, you can link what the people need at the present time, linking to their behavior, looking to their inner self, what they need to get as an experience, if they want to change their paradigm, solicitate their intuition, and and maybe you can offer these new services through it, as a new world travel agency, respecting each of us. depending on who we are deeply inside.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and also educate the tourist, because
What do you mean by educate the tourist?
because what I noticed recently is, luckily, we are more and more to travel, which is great. I'm really happy about that. But I start to see the type of tourists that are just consuming landscape, consuming everything they do, buying the gift that might have been made in China, but because they are in Nicaragua, they buy it and they think it's nice. And I want people to realize it's fantastic to be a tourist, but respect the local and forget everything you know and just look into the eyes of a local. If you step first time in Mexico, just imagine and try to be a Mexican and try to see how they behave, to do the same. And only if you spend 1 year in Mexico, you can start saying, oh, in my country we do things like this and like that. I think it's very important when you travel short time to respect the local, and also make sure we don't give them a bad image of our country. I've got examples, sadly, with some French people that travel in groups, and that's why I think when you are too many people, it's not so good, because the local are a bit scared of a group. I mean, imagine yourself in your street and you see a group of foreign people traveling, walking down your street and pointing at you and taking picture of you because they've never seen a French or an English person. That's quite intimidated, and sadly that's something we do when we travel. When we travel in South America, we tend to do that, and I think we should try to slow down and start respecting them, because some don't want to have their picture taken, and some want to share the food. So when they do, we should have the food. We should not worry. We should not ask, oh, am I going to be ill when the person share the food? We should really embrace the culture when we start traveling and do like if you were a local. If you like to have your coffee first thing in the morning, but you are in a place where they only drink tea, well, you drink tea like they do. And that would make your travel experience much better.
So so you will then create a new philosophy of traveling then?
Yeah, possibly. And I mean, I'm sure it has started already, which is great, because yes, there are more and more people traveling, but I guess we need a lot of us to educate others to go traveling, and then to go traveling in a sensible manner by respecting the other, and to start to be conscious of what we buy when we are in their country, and what we buy when we come back home. That's why traveling has impacted me a lot, because now I find it impossible to buy some clothes that have been made in India or Bangladesh, because I know more than likely they have been made by children or by a mother who had the children sitting just right next to her. And for me now, it's impossible. China can be similar. We do know that a lot of products we buy come from China, and when you start traveling and when you go and see how Chinese people work in their factory, then we should start to pay attention to that. And because as consumer, we can have a big impact. I believe that we can really change things. So traveling is part of this whole package, and being more tolerant.
Yeah, what would you say if for example we would stop buying things from China? Like, what do you think would be the life of these people that they are working right now, because we are asking them a lot?
I think it will improve, because it's impossible to stop buying from China, and I don't really ask that. What I ask is for Chinese workers to have improved quality of work and working in a better environment. So us as a consumer, you can decide, and we can start buying products from China that have been made ethically, which is possible because there are some companies that are focusing only on fair trade products. Of course, you have to be careful. You have to do your research. There are some fair trade companies that are taking advantage of the locals. So you should always double check, always have 2 or 3 sources of information. But as a consumer, if you start to pay attention to that, and if you decide this shoes has been made in China, and has it been made in a fair way? Is it from a good factory that pay the worker well or not? If it's not the case, then maybe think again and don't buy this pair of shoe. If it's been made ethically by a company that respect the Chinese worker, then yes, go ahead. It's not ideal. I mean, I would advise first to buy something that has been made that has been made local in your town or in your city. But I know we're not there yet, so step by step, I think, and it's possible just to start to be aware, because the big supermarket will have to pay attention. They will have no choice if us as consumer we start to buy just ethical products or as much as we can, and when we forget that, that's the time we need to go traveling again. And then we realize, okay, actually it's important to pay attention to what we buy. With the food is the same. Where does your rice come from? Is your rice coming from somewhere in Asia where they are fair and they respect worker or not? So every day it's possible. I'm not asking a dramatic change, but a shift, and it's possible.
So so I have the feeling that you want to teach people to go above their limiting belief regarding traveling, helps them to go out there, to open their mind, and also to change their paradigm and get out of their little conditionment, we say?
Not sure.
Not sure. Well, they're limiting belief, like, they are conditioned.
Yeah, what they have been used to, I guess.
Yeah, used to, yeah. So you want to make them like, okay, go over their fears. You want to make them also very awake regarding where they're going, what they're going to do, and how they're going to behave there, respecting what is, respecting the people there, respecting the locals, respecting, and trying to be as much as the people that they are meeting. So trying to be as much as downloading the codes that people have where they're going. Like,
yes.
It's the same. Sorry, I'm going to just close the window. Yeah, that was too loud. So yeah, so basically it's the way of traveling that you want to teach, is the way of consuming, is the way it's awakening up the people, and then brings them like a new ideas, new way of being for themselves, but also it will have an impact in their day-to-day life regarding what they do every day and regarding how they consume things. And so you've got a lot of work, Laurence, to do. You organize conferences, or what? How do you teach? And
so at the moment, I organize a night out where we get together and we start talking about traveling, about relocation, and I'm planning to make some conferences, and I also want to do some workshops. So that would be probably over 1 day or 2 days, depending. But yes, and with another aspect, it's also that I wanted to mention, it's also when you start to travel, it gives you a lot of ideas on how things are done abroad, and all those ideas you can come back with, and that can help you having your own project back home. Or if you fell in love with a country and you come with ideas from your native country, you can help this other country with a new company, new businesses. And what I notice is a lot of people who live abroad, a lot of expats, either French or English, they tend to have their own business abroad because they're seeing a lot of opportunities. So it's very dynamic, and it's you feel very good. You feel you have a lot of energy because you can see things are possible. and there's a lot to do, and you can share your own knowledge in another country. So yeah, that's all of those that I want to share. And conferences, definitely. I also want to do some photo exhibition of my latest travel, and eventually a travel book as well, or I mean not a travel book, I want to share the people that I've met, their life, how they inspired me, and I just want to show to people they are normal people who just decided to have an extraordinary life, or just a life different than the day-to-day 9 to 5 routine. And I want to share their story just so anybody can identify themselves in those people and think, why not me? It's possible. I can be that person because he's very similar than me. So that's another project.
So what I can see from your evolution is that once you start putting your feet into your passion, then, you know, there are no limits at all, because you know, you've got an idea from another idea from another idea, and people feel that, oh my God, she's hyperactive. No, you are just passionate, and you feel that it's your gut feelings is what is driving you through life, and what is driving you with the faith also, like and what you want to impact the world for. And I think like the way you were 3 years ago and the way you are today, are you feeling more aligned with who you are deeply inside?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it feels good to help people to do something that I know really well because I've done it before them. And yeah, it's just very nice to be able to share that and to show them a different route, something that's possible.
Once you touch your passion, once you work in your hobbies or you work into your passion, do you think that work, the verb work, is still a verb that you have in your vocabulary?
No, never. No, I don't work. I have fun every day.
Exactly. I wanted to, and I'm sure people will notice that with your face, you are very like alive, you are full of energy, you smile with, you know, spontaneously. And this is what I really like from people, that they really enjoyed what they do. Because, you know, Laurence, like 1 month ago, I went to Cannes in south of France for the Festival de Cannes. And we have all these people like film
star or filmmaker.
Filmmaker, film producer, film stars, and you know, like I was really like happy to be in Cannes. It was a good weather. I was meeting a lot of people, and I was always smiling and happy. And I could feel that. How come all the people around me, they are not smiling? They are not spontaneous. They are very strict and very, you know, like this, like not saying, not expressing things. And I'm like, this is very like old world type of behavior, which means that if you really enjoyed what you do is really your passion, then naturally you will be like smiling, you will be expressing something from yourself, you know. And I felt that people were really, they were containing, you know, keeping their emotion, not showing anything because it's more trendy. And yeah. I feel that is really like stupid, because instead of creating very good vibes, very good energy, I really remember the people that, because this broadcast tonight is in English, and I used to do it in French, and now time to time I'm doing it in English. So maybe people doesn't know yet my seminars that called The Switch. And I wanted to ask Laurence, because Laurence participates in my Switch seminars. And actually you did 2 Switch, one which is like work about your inner self. And you did 1 Switch 2 is to work about your project. And what did you feel, or what did you learn through these seminars? Like, if you could give us a feedback. So that was not prepared. It's a spontaneous question. but like if you could share something about these seminars that I organized.
Yeah, it's been extremely intense and challenging because the seminar you are being pushed into corners. You forgot they existed and you didn't want to go. But it's the only way for you to move forwards and to be able to truly develop yourself, to truly embrace the new you, because you cannot carry your old baggage all your life. It's not possible. It's way too heavy. And through the seminar 1 and 2, with Celine, you're really working on getting rid of those baggage. And for most people, it's very heavy. Even for the happy-go-lucky people, which I thought I was, and I think I still am. But I didn't realize I still had a lot of old baggage that did stop me to go forward and to achieve in life what I'm supposed to do, and also starting to help people having just a different life. And that was very good as well as challenging, but I think there is no choice. It's like when you're climbing a mountain, you know at the top the view will be amazing, but the path to go there at some point, it will be flat and easy, and then you will have to climb, and you will have to get out of your comfort zone, and you will have the vertigo. And that's exactly how I felt with your seminar. Like climbing a mountain, Everest almost. But it's well worth it. And there's no, if you do attend seminars regularly, the one that don't push you out of your comfort zone, I think it could be just a waste of time and money. You do have to be pushed out, but always in a caring way, of course, always in a caring way.
Yeah.
And your second the seminar which is focusing about work was amazing, because with Celine's background professionally, you've had a great career, an international career. You know exactly how to launch businesses. You've got a great vision for that, because you've had, throughout your experience, you had many examples. And working in the e-business environment, it's surprising, but everybody has a website today. So you are bent to know all type of industry just because of that. So you've got a very good knowledge of many type of industry, which is extremely helpful when it starts to get down to work and putting your passion into work, with the magic part of it, which is we have to create jobs that don't exist today. So you're thinking, whoa, how can we do that? How do you help us doing that? But I guess that's with all your talent. You are able to help people to create new jobs based on maybe the foundation, 20, 30% exist today, but we need to create the 70% missing. And we can do that by just doing what we love to do. And your last seminar helps for that and is great for that.
And do you feel like more a natural leader?
Yeah, I came from a long way, but yeah, I guess, yeah.
I wanted to ask you this question because I know that for you and for people in general, like talking about leadership is like, oh my God, am I a leader? And I'm not talking about a leader by force, but I'm talking about an inspiring natural leader. For me, be a leader means be yourself, and you will, be seen by people naturally because you are passionate about who you are. And I know that from who you were 1.5 years ago, even 1 year ago, to who you are today, how do you feel as a leader?
Yeah, it's a big spot to take, but I don't feel as scared as before. That was something that did scare me, and I didn't have the confidence, although I thought I had the experience and I have the knowledge, but I don't feel a leader. For a long time, I didn't feel a leader, but now I feel, why not? And I thought, when I see the leader of today, the one that you hear of on TV, the one that have a nice article written about them on the national press, the newspaper. I don't see them as leader because of one reason. They've never done the thing they're talking about. They've never done the thing they are asking people to do. And for me, they are not leader. And I guess when you are doing the thing yourself, you become a natural leader. And when you don't lie to yourself, you become a leader.
So this leadership world, this leader world, doesn't give you.
It doesn't scare me anymore.
It doesn't scare you. It doesn't scare you anymore. It doesn't reject you anymore.
I think we have been conditioned to believe that it takes a certain type of people to be leader. At school, you are supposed to be in the right school to be leaders. But those codes that we have been told since we are young, we just have to scrap them, and like a giant football, we just need to give a big kick inside all of those codes, because those codes are not the right code, and the leader that we can see today, they're not the right one. But I know there are a lot of new leaders that are raising every day, and I can see that in my environment. I can see a lot of nice projects in respect of the environment, in respect of the people. The human bonds are getting stronger, and the leader of yesterday don't like that, but it doesn't matter anymore because it's happening, so it's all good.
I would like to remind the people that once you are who you really deeply are, once you show to people your inner self, then you are becoming a leader, because you will inspiring people by a natural way. So everyone is a leader. We are not talking here about a hierarchy of feeling more like better than someone else. We are just talking about a leader has to take place and his own place, and be proud of who he is and loving himself as a leader. So for the last minute we have on this broadcast today, I would love to ask you, Laurence, where can people meet you or find your website? Or
Yes, of course, yes. So they can, I created a meetup group which called L'Envol. So it's spelled ENVOL. I also go regularly to Paris, so I will be able to have some workshop there. But I'm mainly based in France at the moment, in Brittany, the northwest, the west of France.
You work with the whole world, like in English, with any people that wants to take a coaching session with you regarding this particular subject of how could I travel? You coach people in English also, you told me.
Yes, yeah, that's it's also in English, and yeah, I do have a website. It's called lesateliersdel'envol.com. Okay. I can share that with you on Facebook.
We will put it on the video. Okay, right. So would you like to share something else with us? Maybe a little story before we go, like about one of your travel, something that you were very amazed to see, or something that you will never forget in your life?
Yeah, I think I will never forget the encounter I had. That was recently in Iceland. I met this French girl who decided to relocate to Iceland with her two teenage children and her husband in a village of 150 people because they have a passion for bird watching. And as a couple, they have a photographic project. They want to take picture of birds. And what amazed me is the two children, which are teenagers. They were extremely excited to go and live in a tiny village in the fjords of Iceland. And I think this type of story I want to share more and more, because you completely change your life around despite your family disliking what you do. Because with this person, she didn't have the backup of her family. She didn't have the backup of the friends. Everybody was worried. But when I met her, I could feel that she was she was happy, content. Her family was extremely happy, and she was offering an amazing experience to her two teenage children. And I know they will grow up to be amazing adults, and they will be the adults of tomorrow, the one we need more of. So that's why it's we have to go traveling, and we even have to, if we can, live 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to a new country just to experience new things, because we become more tolerant that way.
And we know more about who we are deeply inside also.
Yes.
We know more about ourselves. So thank you so much, Laurence. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the broadcast CCN. Thank you for this broadcast conscious. I'm always like Conscious Consumer Network. Don't forget that we are an independent channel, and that every dollars we can have, then it's good to support our channel, to support all the people online. Also the artwork from Biggie and Mel also. And everybody else that is doing something on our channel. So it was Celine Joyce Doué with Laurence Masseron about traveling, and as you get in that broadcast, traveling is one key for the transformation. We wish you all the best, a good evening, and we see you soon on a new session and with a new guest. Thank you, Laurence.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If we want to change the world, we must first change the media. Mainstream media exists for the purposes of indoctrination and manipulation of public perception. The world of free and independent media is growing, and with the upsurge in information now available in the public domain, it has never been easier to access free and independent media. The exploration of this information resulted in an experimental project which would provide a fully supported space for researchers, whistleblowers, and seekers of all kinds to express themselves and educate the world. On the 1st of January 2015, Conscious Consumer Network was launched to the world. Nobody thought we would make it this far, but CCN is the longest running free and independent media network of its kind. CCN is a unique collaboration of hearts and souls, bringing you information from different perspectives to educate and inform. Since we started CCN, we have had only one desire: the pursuit of a free, fair, just, sustainable world, and this has not changed. Having overcome many challenges over the last 2 years, CCN is here to stay, and we've got great things lined up for 2017. Help keep CCN on the air by supporting the 2017 Network Support Fund.